Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rockin' Review is so thrilled to bring two of the incredible artists from the award-winning band, so many awards. I mean, AMA, Billboard, Dove Awards, MercyMe, Mike and Bart. Thank you for joining the show to talk about this incredible new album.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yep.
Well, and the great thing is this album really, it didn't take very long at all.
Yeah. We whipped that out really quick. I think we did the math, and it was 2 years and 1 month to make the album, which is it's just way too long. Part of it's because we have our own space, and we realize that you're not renting or having to move out so quick, and
right,
it gets drug out for a long time.
And because it took so long to make the record, it went through a lot of different concepts and titles, and by the end of 2020, Bart was just like, it kind of feels like the whole world just needs to like exhale what we all went through. And we were all like, yeah, that's absolutely what it is. And the bookend idea just kind of happened naturally. And yeah, we're really excited about it. We're hopeful that these songs do kind of give people that rest and peace after such insanity we all went through.
Yeah, cool little tidbit on that. The first song, the Inhale, the little short kind of cinematic thing. So we had finished the record, and Mike, who plays guitar, doesn't play much piano. He would send me these voice memos, and whenever I hear music, I can't not start writing to it. And so I was actually mad because I was like, we did the last call. Quit sending me new ideas. We got too many songs already.
I was late to the party.
Yeah. And so I never listened to it. And a few weeks later, I felt bad. I was like, I was kind of a jerk. And so I was driving home. I was driving back from Texas, and I listened to it, and I wrote those lyrics to it immediately, and then thought, this is the and it was only like a minute long, so it was perfect for the beginning. So I went to the rest of the band, not Mike and our producer. I said, hey, because Mike just set his iPhone on the piano and just tried to play it. I said, I want to keep his iPhone voice memo of the piano and then make it this beautiful thing at the end and not tell Mike. We'll just surprise him as the first track. So we went through the whole thing, and we were so excited. And I was like, hey, man, I sent him the deal. I said, surprise, you're the first song, opening deal. And his text was, no way. Cool. And we're like, oh, you jerk. It's getting deleted right now. And he was like, no, I was with my kids, man. I was busy. I'm sorry.
I literally was like, listen to it on speakerphone, try to get kids in the car and run them all over town. It was not fair. Yeah.
Man, we were all around. We were all on the phone going, what did he say? And it was like, cool. And we were like, oh, yeah.
Oh, great job, everybody. Yeah.
You've got a few incredible guests on this that you should probably bring up on the album too.
Yeah. We have one song, A Little Love, that features Gary LeVox from Rascal Flatts. And that was an odd thing because we met a few years ago. He was a fan of, I think, the movie or something like that. And we hit it off and became really good friends. And he told me, he was like, I'm singing on your next record. And I was like, okay. And then I had the stress of, what is this song going to be? Like, another Broken Road, you think power ballad with that voice, and but I didn't want to do that. I want to do something different. And when this song kind of came about, we all were like, oh, that's the one. Gary would kill it. And he does. It's like, it's ridiculous. In fact, I think he's putting a version on his gospel record he's doing. And we're trying to like, hey man, Big Machine needs to put, Thomas Rhett did good with Be the Light. This would be a good one.
Tag team.
So we're working them to see what happens. And then we have a song, Brand New, which once again, Mike's to blame for this one. It's kind of this disco kind of vibe, and
I love it. I love the guitar work.
Yeah, we were nervous if we could pull it off or not, and or be convincing. We didn't want it just to be a gimmick, and so there's this right before something goes to mix and it's pretty much done. We'll get together here, and I call it an idiot check. We make sure that every part's there, and we're ready to send it. And we were literally to that point, and we're listening to it, going, man, this is really great. And Mike just leaned over and said, Gloria Gaynor, and I was like. He goes, she should be singing on this. That would make it and I was like, man, we should. But the problem is it had to happen fast. And so I got to work with Gloria on her gospel record. So I knew her. So I texted her, and she lives in Jersey. And I was like, is there any way you would do this? Sent the song to her, and she was freaking out. Oh my gosh, yes. She goes, I don't want to sing another slow song. No one's giving me these disco songs to sing. And
she's a disco diva.
Exactly, Mike. Exactly.
Yeah. So it was like the next Monday or Tuesday, she got in the studio in Jersey and sang it, and it was pretty awesome. The biggest joke was we're good friends with like Zach Williams and For King and Country, and And they were like, how did you get Gloria Gaynor? I was like, because y'all used up Dolly Parton. Y'all put her on all your records. So we had to find another icon. It's like, come on, man. I can't, we can't over Dolly.
That being said, Dolly, if you're watching,
oh, yes.
Gladly,
yes,
thrilled.
We would like you to sing the entire record if you're available. But, and then
I got to say this too, Bart, to where one of my favorite tracks with the guest was Sam Wesley.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites too. And Sam Wesley is my oldest son. He's 19, and he brought the song. He was writing with a couple of his friends. Like American Idol would send out and say, hey, or some publisher would say they're looking for songs for some of the early commercials. And some of these little publishers will be like, we'll pay you a couple $100 to get you on. They don't get royalties. And I was like, it's kind of don't go that route. But he was like, it was an opportunity. So he showed me the chorus, and I was like, man, this is worth way more than $200 or whatever. And so I let the guys hear. I took it to the label, and they were like, he should get this on MercyMe and like actually get paid. And so then it was that weird conversation of, hey, Daddy loves your song. Now Daddy wants your song. It just felt weird to be saying to my son. What an awkward thing. And he was like, man, I was hoping to do it myself. And I was like, I get it. I said, but there's gonna be a lot of songs you write. And this would be I said, whether I'm in the band or not, this is a huge opportunity. The guys writing with him were like, yeah, go with him, go with your dad. And so that what accidentally it kind of happened, I went in to sing a demo of it to show the label what it could be. I helped them finish writing the verses, and my voice was shot. And so I got through about half of it and told Sam, just finish it out. They'll get the idea. So he sang the rest of it, and then I took it to the band and the label, and they're the ones that said, why are we not keeping Sam on it? And I was like, I'm in tears going, whoa, this is unbelievable. And they were like, yeah, it's awesome. And the guys have always been that way, so supportive of all of our kids. And so it helped me because I was able to go say, hey, you got a song on the record and you're still going to sing it and be featured. And yeah, it's like, I'm just getting to the point to where I don't cry when I hear it, because every time I hear my son sing, it kills me. And it might be the next single. We don't know. It's getting a lot of kind of like you saying, it was one of the ones that stood out. We're getting that everywhere. And it is a great song. And, I couldn't be happier for him. And it's a weird thing. We were talking about, I was like, is it weird that when I was in MercyMe, my wife gave birth to Sam, and now I'm in MercyMe and my 19-year-old Sam is singing, and we've been a band for 27 years. So
it's like the whole circle of life. I mean, what you guys started with this, but listen to the whole album. It was one of those tracks that really grabbed me. I've got to bring this up too. I know you guys have gotten a lot of attention and been talking a lot about it with the video for Say I Won't, involving Gary Miracle, a close friend of the band, and his just challenging time. But the video, the song stands alone on its own, but the video is it's riveting.
Yeah, Gary, he was a dear friend of ours. He was literally like our first merch guy. He's actually the worst merch guy ever. Like, wouldn't count out T-shirts, giving away more than he'd sell. But he actually had to drive the bus too, and he got fired from that because he was horrible at that. We wanted to live. But he's just such a great guy. We kept him around. Like, that was like a testament to his character, because he was just a blast to be around. Well, fast forward all these years, we've stayed friends, and we're in the process of the album. Say I Won't was probably about halfway done being written, and we were kind of still fighting with it a little bit. And we get word that Gary's gone into the hospital. It was New Year's Eve of 2019, and he had gone into septic shock. They had to put him in a coma. He was in a coma for several weeks and woke up to the news that he was going to have to be a quad amputee. They're going to take his arms and legs, just because of everything that had happened to him. And the guy we know didn't change at all through that. Like, he has the absolute best and most incredible attitude and sense of humor through all of this. And in that, I think we just realized, like, this song was being written for Gary before it was being written for Gary. And we just asked if we could share his story. I know you talked to him a bunch about it. Yeah,
we started, it kind of went from this whole kind of understanding when we understand who we are in Christ, how there's nothing you can't do, which to this overcomer, like watching his story, like, by the end, it's like, I can do all things through Christ, and you keep saying I won't, and I'll keep proving you wrong. It's like this Rocky moment. And because we couldn't tour and we're stuck at home, but we were releasing a single, a lot of our meetings were like, man, we need to make an impact. And I was like, man, I would love to have something incredibly powerful as far as a video goes but it never occurred to me at the time that it would be Gary. In fact, some people at the label said, hey, we've heard this story about so-and-so who's going through it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to just pick a stranger. And it just feels slimy, like I'm using it to sell something. And then I think somebody was like, man, if we're doing that, I'd rather tell Gary's story. It was like, and so I called Gary, and he had told me time and time again, he's like, man, I know there's purpose in this, and I hope one day I can encourage people to overcome whatever they're facing. He goes, I don't know if I'm there spiritually or emotionally yet. And of course, because it was so soon. And I was like, but I said, hey, would you ever let us tell your story for you for now? And just in tears, he was like, man, of course, this is what we've been hoping for, praying for. And so just, you know, we decided to do the video on our own, and it just turned out better than we ever thought possible. And you know, it was a little daunting. I'm not used to not necessarily telling his story, but feeling like I'm being his voice, and it's like, don't screw this up. And I think we did good enough to where we create a monster every day. He's like, hey man, it's moving slower up the charts. What's going on? We're like, easy, pal. Like, yeah, you just hold on. You know, we've done this before, but no, it's been awesome. And he's told me, he's like, man, it's pretty cool just to be reminded there's purpose, because he'll get emails and stuff every day of just a lot of war veterans, a lot of people that are just struggling with, you know, the mental toll on losing limbs and stuff. And it's like, he goes, every day I have something to address or speak to somebody. And so he goes, it's been amazing to have this kind of stuff occupy my time.
The album releases this Friday, Inhale Exhale with MercyMe. Where's the best place for our viewers to go for the social, for the web, and everything else, guys?
MercyMe.org is our website.
Well, and hopefully, you know, Bart and Mike, you know, you guys are going to have some more singles and videos coming out from this. I know you've, started releasing them early. You know, the album is well worth the wait, a little over 2 years, but what an incredible body of work with this album. And I think everybody is going to need to buy it and listen to it in its entirety. As I mentioned, I want it on vinyl. 16 amazing songs, especially, you know, Mike's opener with the piano. But he's, you know, I'm used to hearing him and seeing him on guitar.
That's so
that he can play piano too.
You should only see me on guitar. Piano's a mess, but it was fun. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, Mike and Bart from MercyMe, thank you so much for coming on the Rock and Review, and congratulations on the new album, Inhale, Exhale, and also the tour. I can't wait to see you guys live.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks so much, man.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.